Hello, I'm Adam Grimes, and today I thought we would do a quick video blog and look at the broad indexes in the US, see if we can figure out what's going on. So I'll put the punchline right up front here. We have a situation, I think the Nasdaq Index is probably the best one to try to read. We have a situation with a lot of conflict. It's easy to make both a strong bull and bear case, and I wanted to show you both of those cases and also consider what might tilt the scales in favor of one over the other, because I do think we can have some biases here. So let's just kind of go bar by bar and look at how this move in the NASDAQ unfolded. So we had this very large decline. And at this point, the day of the decline, and that was back in June, this was not outsized. This was, and you can simply look at the Sigma spikes underneath and you see this is a large move, but not huge. We look back a few months, we've had a few more like that. You also can look at a chart. It looks a little bit bigger on the chart, has a wider range. Volatility adjusted is not nearly as impressive as what we had here. So this gets our attention, no major cause for concern. However, what happened after is different. The character of this market for a very long time has been that any bounce is very, very quickly recovered. And we can see that here very easily, the recovery here. We just have to go back a little bit and we can see this over and over everywhere. This time was a little bit different. That's the perennial question, right? Is this time different? And it turned out to be different. We had what I would characterize as a reluctant bounce, and we were able to set up a short trade here. And this was done by looking at this anti-pattern. So what we're looking at here, the decline, relatively slow bounce. Let me see, actually, if I could do that in a better color. Relatively slow bounce here, makes a little bit, and call this whatever you will, wedge, pennant, flag, whatever, depending on your chart reading background. You may have different names for this, and that's fine. And we also notice momentum rolls over here. That's a confirming factor. Would not consider that a primary trade factor by any means. But there was a short here, and that's significant because, on one hand, we're looking at a historic trade, so maybe it's not terribly significant, but it's a change of character in that we've not had this happen in many, many months. It's one of the cleanest shorts we've had in indexes. And then what happens? Well, we appear to be setting up another potential short at this time, but this is the point where I think we really need to consider two scenarios, and let's look at those. So one would be looking at this as simply a classic bull flag. Perhaps that should be in a different color, right? So if we look at, excuse my fantastic drawing skills here, if we look at this and we look down here, you can see that we are painting some type of very large bull flag, which you also can see over here on the weekly. Weekly, this really does not get our attention. This is not a significant change. And of course, looking at the monthly, we're looking at a very, very long uptrend that has, perhaps we can pull some structure out of it, but this is not even a blink on the monthly time frame. So that's scenario one. Is this a complex bull flag? Setting on the daily chart, which could set up a continuation. The other scenario that has been more in play has been this pressure on support. And there are a lot of ways that you might look at this, but one is just to look at these previous lows and to see that these are areas where stocks have come down to these lows, and until what's happened very recently here, we have not had much price rejection. Now, you might argue, successfully, I think, that this is some evidence of price rejection. So what's happening here overall is we do have a conflicted situation. And none of this, notice that I'm not considering, thinking about worrying about any political or headline events, though there certainly are concerns there. But the price action, the price structure will tell us everything we need to know. Now, it is significant. I've been focusing on the Nasdaq. If we were to look at the S&P or even more at the Dow, we would see that these indexes, if we were blind to the Nasdaq, if we just looked at the S&P, these indexes don't even show cause for concern. This is nothing more than a pullback. Of course, we do need, we know the stocks, Apple, Google, that are driving this move, and Facebook significantly is climbing to new highs. So we need to watch how this plays out. At this point, I think the bottom line is cautious optimism. And one more note on this. Let's say the market does break down. Let's say we're able to somehow set up some successful shorts and we're able to see this play out. Basically, what expectation do those shorts have? Chances are, very high probability, that those shorts would be absorbed into the weekly, monthly uptrend, and a decent correction, a healthy correction, call this index pulling back to 4,800 or something like that, early 2017 highs, could be very, very healthy and constructive. And if that happens, of course, every commentator is going to be calling it the end of the world, but it's not. So that's all I have for today. And if you want to read more of my work, you can find my blog at www.adamhgrimes.com. Thank you very much.